welcome to Monday Morning Detective, the podcast. I'm your host, Gino Scala. Today we're going to discuss the Murdaugh trial and criminal enterprise. Um, and I say that the Murdaugh family have been in power in South Carolina for over 80 years, over around 87 years. They were in charge of both the prosecutions and they had a defense firm as well. So they covered both sides of the ledger. Um, we now know that many police officers, sheriffs, judges, etc., were in the pockets of these guys, of this family. So, but they've had a colorful criminal life that has now come to the surface, mostly as a result of the 2019 boat crash, where Paul Murdaugh, the youngest son, who was 17, I believe, at the time, he's a real punk, a real alcoholic, a violent alcoholic, was very drunk at the time of the boat accident, slammed into a bridge where multiple injuries on multiple friends, his best friends, and the death of Mallory Beach, who flew out of the boat, hit her head, and was killed and drowned. So, uh, as true to his character, Paul and the family took control of this investigation in an attempt to accuse one of the other passengers of driving the boat. And they stuck with it until science proved that the person they said was driving could not have been driving the boat. Clearly, everyone living testified that it was Paul driving the boat. He was indicted and charged, never spent a day in jail, never spent a minute in handcuffs, never spent a second in orange prison uniforms. He was released on a bond and was never been shown the inside of the courts since. Uh, and he was involved in multiple other crimes and rumors of crimes. And this kid was just one of those entitled assholes. Okay. Now, he has an older brother, Buster, who was believed to have been the golden boy of the family, did well in college, graduated law school, passed the bar, very successful. And then we find out that he was actually kicked out of college for plagiarism, and his name surfaced in the investigation of the murder of Stephen Smith, a known gay male in the area, very friendly. Everyone loved Stephen. He was beloved, but it is a conservative southern town. And the rumor on the streets, very clear, that Buster was having a romantic sexual relationship with Stephen. And one day, Stephen was found dead in the middle of the road with a head injury. The scene was made to look like a hit and run car accident, but it was quickly determined that wasn't the case. That, unfortunately, according to the SLED, the Southern Law Enforcement, South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, or whatever SLED stands for, that's their excuse for not getting any further in the investigation. No one was brave enough to come forth and actually put pen to paper and either provide evidence or testify to their knowledge involving the Murdaughs. The Murdaugh family was that powerful. This is Dixieland Mafia stuff, folks. This is a criminal organization going back 87 years. All of the uncles are involved. The grandfather was involved. Everyone named Murdaugh had knowledge of and was participating in this criminal enterprise. That includes the sons Paul and Buster, and also Maggie. Now, this all comes to a head um, last year when Alec reportedly returns home from visiting his very ill mother and discovers his wife Maggie and his son Paul shot to pieces outside of their kennel. They have a dog kennel. His 911 call shows a very excited, very distraught Alec Murdaugh. Doesn't know what happened, but he tells investigators he believed it is linked to the boat accident, where initially they tried to pin the driving of the boat on another person in the boat, but science proved that couldn't have been possible, and all the witnesses testified that uh, Paul was the driver. And because he was not punished legally, and there was a he it seemed like the killer was paying back the family by killing Paul, and Maggie happened to be there and was killed as well. Two different weapons were used. Paul was killed with a shotgun, very messy, and the wife Maggie was shot 5 times with an AR-15, including a kill shot to the head. Well, Alec denied throughout the investigation that he was involved, of course, and unbeknownst to him, Paul had been videotaping um, being out at the kennel at that time. I don't know why, unless he suspected that his father was setting him up in some way, because we can hear Alec's voice on the videotape. So he was present. Now, what they can't do is say that videotape was within a minute of the killings or within an hour of the killings. They can't say that. But we do know that he was lying about this investigation. Add to that, they uncovered serious malfeasance within the accounting portion of his law firm, which he was quickly terminated after it was revealed that he was winning judgments on lawsuits that the families that he was representing weren't even involved, weren't even aware were going on, winning judgments in the millions of dollars, and then keeping that money. And the families never knew. So the bottom line is this. Uh, there are no innocent victims to this with this family inside the immediate family. Paul, Maggie, Buster, none of these people are victims. Mallory Beach and the families that had their money taken from them, they are the true victims. But um, Alec got sentenced to 2 life sentences today, and hopefully that puts an end to this criminal enterprise family. And that'll be it for episode 36.